Wing Chun is a kung fu system which originated in the famous Shaolin temples of southern China. Wing Chun is unique in that it is the only martial art to have been devised by a woman. Its founder, Ying Mei, was a Buddhist nun in the early 1700s and was widely regarded as one of the top 5 fighters of her time. According to legend, one day Ying Mei was out walking and witnessed a battle between a stork and a rodent. Ying Mei was impressed by the way the stork defended itself, using its wings and feet while simultaneously attacking. She decided to adapt these techniques and principles to the human frame, and so formulated a new fighting system, one which did not rely on the person being big and strong. Ying Mei befriended a young girl named Wing Chun, who was being forced into marriage without her consent. An agreement was made that the girl could marry the man of her choice on the condition that she could defeat her betrothed in combat. After a year of training under Ying Mei, Wing Chun was able to defeat her opponent and win her freedom. Ying Mei later named her new martial arts style Wing Chun after her first student, who in turn continued the tradition of passing the principles and forms to the next generation.
So we're looking at a martial art that's based on a logical set of principles and biomechanics of the human body. First, it works on the centerline theory, utilising the centerline of the body. One half of the body fits to here, one to there. Once they start crossing, the muscle groups break down. On the centre line as well, you find all your organs. So therefore, it's the most vital points to protect and to attack to. Going into principles, practicality, simplicity, directness, economy of movement, and minimum use of strength that the whole system is based on. Practicality, it has to be practical, nice and easy to use. We don't use any high kicking, we keep everything nice and low. Therefore you can do it in walking, do it in standing. You don't need to jump into any big stances for it. Simplicity, we want to keep it very simple for the fact that too much energy, too much time consuming small people such as myself, if I have to do a lot of fancy work, it's just too much. Direct, we utilise the centerline principle. So the straight line between 2 points is a centerline, the most direct route. Also at the same time with simultaneous attack and defend. So we're direct to the force, the line of force, and direct to our strike as well. Economy of movement utilises the same ideas. We want to use less movement to gain more. Minimum use of strength. Your mass accelerated equals force. So we're trying to drop as much of the body mass to create force rather than relying on brute force.
Yip Man was a Wing Chun master who fled China to Hong Kong in 1948 when the communist government banned the study of all martial arts. In Hong Kong, Yip Man taught many thousands of students. However, there were 4 who were taught behind closed doors in a traditional master-student relationship. The longest serving of these students was Choi Shong Tin, who would later take over Yip Man's classes. Jim Fung began learning Wing Chun at 14 years of age under Choi Shong Tin. It was Jim Fung who brought Wing Chun to Australia, when in 1973 he established Jim Fung's Wing Chun Academy in Adelaide. Today his school is world renowned and is included in the All China Martial Arts Register, one of only a few schools outside of China to receive this accolade. The school has classes targeted at all age groups and skill levels, including classes especially for women.
People often ask what makes Wing Chun so good for women, and there are many reasons, but the main reason is that it was developed by a woman. The other great thing about Wing Chun is that it helps the individual to think about the body, how we use the body, and how we can use it better to avoid even getting into a physical confrontation. So the Wing Chun stance, which is one of balance and evenness and uprightness, means that the individual presents a much more confident and in control image, and that alone can be enough to deter an attacker. We learn in Wing Chun to use our entire body mass behind every movement that we have, so we're not relying on the size of our biceps, triceps, back muscles or leg muscles, but we use all of those focused at one point in order to generate power. The simple direct movements also make it ideal for street situations, so we learn to use our voice much more so than perhaps the men would. Using verbal defence can be just as effective, if not more so, than having to rely on your physical skills. And so the women are taught to be able to stand well, have a confident posture, be prepared to put their hands up, set boundaries, create a fence around their body where it's quite clear that that fence shouldn't be crossed, and say with an assertive tone, no, or back off. So Wing Chun teaches that purely in the stance and the guard, that you're not just preparing yourself for a 300-year-old martial art, but you're preparing yourself for any street situation where somebody might be just trying to cross your boundaries. And that's part of the reason why it's so fantastic for women to learn, whether the person is looking for self-defence, whether it's fitness, or whether it's the art of Wing Chun Kung Fu.
The name Wing Chun means everlasting springtime, and as the name suggests, it is an art form that is continually evolving and growing, but as it's passed down through the generations, it remains true to the legacy of Eng Mei.